Hi Pickles, and welcome back to yet another video with me. Today is going to be a bit of a tips and tricks on how to pass your driving test. I am filming in my car. It made sense too because at the end of the day it is to do with passing your test, passing your driving test. So again, going back to what I said in the other video, this is not me trying to boast. This is not me trying to say that I'm the best driver in the world because I passed first time. Follow these tips and you'll definitely pass, because no, I'm sorry, it's not, my tips might not necessarily work for other people. I might have just had it pot luck where I passed first time, who knows, but I'm just wanting to share the tips on what I found helped me. So I've got mud on my chair. You want to see my, how many tips is it? Let me just see. Top six oh God, why can't I speak? If you want to see my top 6 tips on how you could maybe pass your driving test first time, please continue watching. Right. I know that bag's a bit distracting in the background, so I've got rid of it for you. I've got my diary with me here again, and I'm just going to read right off the bat the tips that I've written down, babes. I think that's the one. So number 1 is to find yourself the best driving instructor for you. Now, just because somebody on your Facebook or some friends that you might have said that Liz has got a good reputation for, you know, students passing first time, doesn't necessarily mean that because they pass first time that you're going to pass first time from being tutored or teached by them, if that makes any sense. You really need to find a driving instructor that suits your needs, that listens to how you want to learn, how you adapt to learn. How do we explain this? So, quick fun fact about me is I have been through about 7 or 8 different driving instructors. I know that's bad. So what happened was I got recommended to my driving instructor, who was called Mike, by my sister and then her friend, and Mike just struggled to fit me in because obviously I work full time, and he's basically just struggled to fit me in. He had more time like in work hours on the weekends, and I did work weekends then. And some driving instructors do charge more actually for like teaching you on the weekends as well. So you need to find somebody that is going to listen to your needs, who's going to have patience with you, and then also somebody who is going to be able to have lessons with you in your timing. So me and Mike unfortunately didn't work out the first time. Sorry, Mike. And then I went from driving instructor to driving instructor to driving instructor. Obviously, for the purpose of just because I don't want to slay any driving instructor. They were, like, to me, I mean, to some other people, they might have been amazing driving instructors, but just to me personally, I did not rate the way that they taught driving. No offence, again, if you're watching this, because you'll know who you are. Some were just more of like a friend. They were just more laid back. There wasn't really any teaching going on. Some were so strict to the point where I felt like I was a child again, getting shouted at. And I know that you're driving instructor at the end of the day, but you want to feel comfortable. Otherwise, you're not going to learn. You're going to make more mistakes because you feel under pressure. So I'm completely going off on a rampage, but what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter if you do not find the perfect driving instructor for you first time. It's okay to bounce. What do people call it? Like the driving instructor bike or something? Like, what's that word? Like, she's the village bike. I was a driving instructor bike. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. And Mike, if you're watching this, you'll know exactly what I mean. So yeah, I went from them, and then I messaged Mike and said, look, you know, I can't find anyone that's as good as teacher as you. Like, nobody's got the patience. Me and Mike had a very nice relationship as student and driving instructor. I genuinely class him. He was a friend who supported me throughout my lessons, and we got to know each other on. This sounds a bit dirty, but it really wasn't like that. Whatever issues I had outside of my lessons as well, he was always there to help, which made me feel more at ease. Like, it wasn't. This is another thing. You'll get some driving instructors which are a little bit creepy. Maybe if you was in my situation, I went through about 3 driving instructors that were all just a bit weird, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to talk about it too much. But yeah, Mike, by far, was the best driving instructor. So if you're around Huddersfield area, Holmfirth, that kind of area, I definitely recommend Mike. I can obviously link his name down below if you are based around my area. But But yeah, you want somebody who has patience, who doesn't shout at you. It's all right to be given constructive criticism. That's absolutely fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody that makes you feel on edge, or that you've done something really wrong by making a mistake. Please don't forget that you're learning, so you're gonna make mistakes. It's absolutely fine. It's natural. You shouldn't be made to feel like you're bad at driving or that you're never gonna pass it. And that's how I felt like with some of the driving instructors. So yeah, find a driving instructor that's right for you. Number 2 is to take your time learning. So putting more pressure on yourself is gonna, obviously, it's gonna impact you being able to pass quickly. If you feel like, oh, I've got to learn how to do a manoeuvre in a certain space of time, or I've got to do everything by the book there and then, no, it's not like that. What I'm trying to say with this is the more pressure that you put on yourself, the more mistakes are going to happen, and the longer you're going to be in that process of learning to drive. Don't forget that when you pass your test, that's when the real driving starts, because you pick up your own habits anyway, and there's no right or wrong way. You just got to kind of go with the way of the law or your examiner wants you to do. Once you've cracked that, then you're going to pass it. I'll go on to that a bit more in a minute. Take your time when learning. Take your time in your lessons. Like, enjoy your lessons. It shouldn't be where you think, oh god, I've got another driving lesson today, oh my god, I just dread it. It shouldn't be like that. It should be fun as well. Number 3, I'd say the more lessons that you have, definitely the better. This is, again, in my opinion, some people might want to do a crash course where they do it within a week, boom boom boom, get it done, got your test certificate, whatever. Some people want to book the theory and then just have a few lessons and hopefully they'll pass. That tactic to me, or that kind of option to me, I didn't believe in. I wanted to crack on with my driving lessons. 1, because I enjoy it more than a theory, and 2, because then when I did pass my theory, then I'd be ready to book in for the practical. So that's what I did. I just advise, one of the main tips could be is to have as many lessons as you can. I know it gets a bit expensive, but practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes perfect. So the only way you are going to be at a test standard is by having this practice. And then number 4, okay, so when it comes down to it, I'd say just to be really nice with your examiner. Now, I'm going to just tell you a story of what happened when I went. So me and Mike were sat in the waiting room, like you do, you sign your name off. Sat in the waiting room, and there was this one really scary guy, and I thought, oh, like, shit, no, please tell me I'm not gonna have him. And this is another thing, look if your examiner's just a nice person or not. Some can be pricks. I just had this guy who had a very appealing, what is the word? He had a nice aura. He had a nice aura about him. So I just looked at him and I said, hi, you all right? Like you do. And then I said, you're gonna pass me, aren't you? I know that's a little bit cheeky, but just have a bit of fun with them as well. You need to kind of understand what they're about, like if they want to talk to you or if they're just following by the book. So it's kind of just trying to get a grasp of what your examiner is going to actually be like. So I just had a bit of a joke and laugh and said, you're going to pass me, aren't you? Wink wink. And it did, but it doesn't just boil down to all of that. Throughout the lessons, focus on what you're doing. 2 hands on the wheels at all time. Obey by the speed limits. This is a major issue for me. Mike will agree with me as well, again, if you're watching Mike. And my speeding was just terrible. Everybody knows it now. Now that I've passed, people still say, fucking LL, like, what? Slow down. You think you're off-roading or something. Like I say, going back to that number 3 tip, point, whatever it is, I am completely rambling, but going back to what I said, you will pick your own habits up when you pass. But while you're doing your practical test, drive how they want you to drive. So however you drive, and you've been given tips that it's not up to examiner standard, do the opposite. That's exactly what I did. Make conversation with them. If he makes conversation with you, I know you're concentrating, but just try and make it back to show that you are a friendly person as well, and you're not just been thinking, oh, you're my examiner. Just try and have a bit, not obviously too much. You want to try and just think of that as if you're like working, and there's a certain kind of level or professionalism that you need to maintain. Do that, but also relax a bit as well. If you get that vibe about him. If they're a nice person, you'll probably pass it anyway. Number 5, so if your nerves do get the better of you, just have a drink before you go. You know, have like a tequila or something. Only joking. No, you can't do that. I said that in my theory test one as well. Unfortunately, you can't. If they smell it on you, you'll have your license taken off you before you even have your license, so you don't want to do that. But what I said in the theory test one, excuse me, if you are quite a nervous person, then try a herbal tablet. I've got some calms, and another girl that I was speaking to sweared by them because she passed, I think it was first or second time. Second time's still really good. They say that the best drivers pass second time as well. I don't know if you've heard that before. I must be a shit driver then. Have a herbal tablet. It won't make the world a difference, but it could help your nerves a little bit, just so you don't feel as shaky when you're driving. Because believe me, it is nerve-wracking. Some people say it's like it's a breeze or whatever. I mean, I didn't think it was that hard personally, but just bear in mind that I was driving for a year and a half before booking this practical test exam thing. So I wasn't like completely scared by it. I know some of you will, or if you've just, you know, like going back, if you've just passed your theory and you're jumping straight into your practical and you don't feel like you're ready, then I wouldn't do it. I'd just do it when you feel ready. Number 6 is my last tip that I can advise, and it is to drive as though you've got like a grandparent in the back of your car. Just pretend they're there. Keep checking your like interior mirror thing there, or your middle mirror, whatever the hell you want to call it. Drive as though you've got your grandma on one side and your 8-month-old baby on the other side, and this worked for me. So whenever I wanted to race down the road, or whenever I got angry, because I do get road rage as well, I don't know if you guys do, I get road rage quite badly. Pretend you've got them in the back, so there's no swearing going on, there's no showing aggression in your face, and you're driving as careful as you can because you don't want to damage them two most important people in your life. Well, 2 of the most important people in your life. So yeah, just drive as though you've got some really precious people in the back. My examiner said to me, my driving instructor said to me, drive as though you've got like the Queen in the back of your car. And I'm thinking, So I kind of took that on board, but I thought I'm going to drive as though I have, not that I have any grandparents alive, but just drive as though you've got someone really precious in the back of your car. So that just, if you've got a baby, if you've got a child, pretend that they're in the back as well. And yeah, there are the main tips and kind of key points that I'd share to pass. The main one out of all of them, I'd say, is just to practice like mad. More lessons you have, the more likely chance is that you're going to pass first time. The first thing that they asked me to do was to read off another person's registration plate number, and they asked me to do that 3 times. All 3 times I said sorry, I don't know, can't see it, don't know, sorry. But right there and then it could have been a fail for not being able to see clearly, but he didn't. So like I say, it just depends on your driving instructor. It depends if he's nice, I don't want to swear, but if he's going to be a bit prim and proper, I'd say. Did I say driving instructor or examiner? That's the end of the video, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Picked out some of these tips and tricks. Again, as I said in my theory test video, these tips and tricks are not going to work for everyone, so I'm sorry if they don't. There are other videos out there on the internet, not just mine, that are going to be able to help you with being able to pass your practical first time. Me, I was lucky enough to do so, but you know, if I'd have got a different examiner, then maybe he wouldn't have passed me. So sometimes it is just pot luck on the day. The main thing that you want to do is just to be able to control your nerves, think I am ready for this, and then just drive to the best ability and standard that you possibly can do. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the videos, and I'll see you in another video. Bye everyone.